You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, we've got some wild spoilers for next week on Y&R, including Claire Newman hitting Nate Hastings with a massive truth bomb, plus Holden Novak's getting paranoid, and Billy Abbott stuns Chelsea Lawson. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we've got the latest Y&R spoilers for the week of August 18th, and please click that subscribe button if you're not already following us. Hit that like while you're at it, too. All right, let's get started with Billy and Chelsea first. At the end of this week, Adam Newman told Chelsea that he published the story revealing Dumas is Cane. And Chelsea was excited until Adam said that the article made Billy Abbott look bad. What was refreshing for Adam to hear, and it took him by surprise, was Chelsea said her ex Billy brought it on himself. At this point, all the Newmans, including Chelsea, who's an ex-Newman, know that Billy is conspiring with Cane Ashby, so linking them in the hit piece made sense. But then Billy came storming into Adam's office claiming the Newmans stabbed him in the back. What's bizarre is Billy wasn't mad that they made him look bad. He was more upset that the Newmans went after Cane. What's crazy, though, is Sally Spectra wanted to publish the Cane is Dumas story ASAP, and now they've dropped the ball because Newman Media beat Abbott.com to the punch, bringing that story out first. And it's kind of on them because Sally's so busy planning the launch party and Billy's so busy holding grudges and plotting that they let a golden opportunity slide to launch their media company with a huge story with an insider perspective. So Billy tells Adam that coming at Cane like that was not a smart move and said it's going to come back to bite them. But Adam mocks Billy and called him Cane's yapping attack dog. And Adam tells Billy to just go ahead and have Abbott.com do a rebuttal if he's so worried about it. It's kind of strange that Billy is more worried about the threat that Cane poses than himself being dragged through the mud, though. Then again, Billy told Sally he's hoping to get Chancellor back without any help from Cane. So this is all kind of feeling like very sloppy stuff from head writer Josh Griffith. That guy needs to go, to be honest. Jill Farron Phelps is back working at Y&R, and I just hope they are gearing up to kick him to the curb and put her in charge. She had some problems too as a showrunner, but it's gotta be better than Josh, right? Anyway, Adam is poking more at Billy at the end of this week, saying that he's always a failure, and Chelsea finally tells Adam, just stop it. And then Billy thanks Chelsea and says she's sweet to stick up for him, and Billy claps back at Adam about how he's going to win and do a victory lap, blah, blah. So Chelsea tells Adam she's worried it's not over, and then in Y&R spoilers for next week, Chelsea runs into Billy, who's out with Sally, and Chelsea asks Billy, if Sally's running Abbott.com, what does that leave Billy doing? And he tells Chelsea that he's got some exciting news of his own, and then Billy promises that he will tell Chelsea soon. Well, tell her what? That he's plotting to steal Chancellor from Nikki and Victor, her once and presumably future in-laws? I mean, that seems like a crazy thing to tell her, right? So if Billy does actually tell Chelsea what he's planning with Chancellor and she doesn't tell Adam and the Newmans, well, that could cause huge problems for her relationship, especially since that would mean Chelsea is protecting Billy while he attacks Nikki. On the flip side of that, it's not like the Newmans don't know that Billy really wants Chancellor for himself. Also, towards the end of this week, we saw Audra Charles pushing Claire too far when she grabbed Kyle Abbott for a kiss at Society right as Claire walked in and saw. Then Audra said some real crappy stuff about Claire's man wanting her, basically saying Kyle wants more than Claire, who's just a basic B. Kind of what she was implying about Claire, that she's vanilla and Audra's all the spice. You know, kind of true. But at the same time, Audra doesn't really know who Claire is because she's got a lot of secret sauce of her own. So Kyle reassured Claire, but she's had it. She went home and she saw Nate was there talking to her mom, Victoria, and then Claire was just about to tell Nate everything that Audra's done, but Victoria stopped her because Nate was heading to Chicago to bury his brother Damien. So Claire realized, okay, time wasn't right, but next week in Young and the Restless, spoilers, it seems to be game on, because on Y&R, Nate's back in town and he's chatting with Claire. Now, he already knew she had something to tell him, and Audra kind of brushed it off when he mentioned it. So Claire's got the chance when Nate asks her what she wanted to tell him, and Claire says it's about Audra. And then Claire tells Nate he needs to know about the kind of person Audra really is. Well, that's not good. So unless something or somebody stops Claire, looks like she's going to drop the bombshell about Audra's dirty deal with Victor to seduce Kyle. At that point, it should honestly be game over for Audra. I'm sure she will cry and lie and deny, but Nate was already suspicious about what was going on with her and Victor. So I'm going to be very interested to see if Nate talks to Kyle, who confirms it, and even worse, if he tells him that Audra tried to use Damien's murder to seduce him while pretending to be in a vulnerable place. Man, that right there would be enough for Nate to walk away from Audra and never look back. Also next week, we've got more on Cane's man in GC, the one who was buying up all the real estate for him, Holden Novak. Last time we saw Holden, he had dropped by Cane's room at GCAC and Lily happened to be there. So Holden was kind of scrambling. He told Lily he'd gotten an invite from Dumas, and he played dumb, to come by and talk about a business proposition. And Lily totally bought it and said, no, Dumas really Cane and he's terrible. Don't do business with him. Run the other way. So Holden was able to cover, but that's all going to fall apart soon. I do wonder when Phyllis and Billy are going to be introduced to Holden by Cane, who tells him, okay, he's part of the team. I mean, it's going to be hard to keep it hidden, so it seems like he's got to tell him. And if you recall this week, Phyllis was telling Daniel all her crazy, I'm about to take over the world with Cane stuff, and Daniel warned her against it. Of course, she didn't listen. So next week in Young and the Restless, spoilers, we've got Holden running into Daniel, and I'm stretching my brain to think if I've ever seen those two in a room together. Maybe I forgot, but nothing springs to mind. So Holden asks Daniel if he is digging for dirt on him, and Daniel says no. But Holden asks if Cane put Daniel up to it. So clearly Holden doesn't trust Cane, or he's working some kind of weird angle with Daniel, who he knows is Phyllis's son. So sounds like Holden is watching his back, which is wise when Cane is in the room. So come back for our full weekly spoilers video tomorrow for the week of August 18th through the 22nd on Young and the Restless.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.